Welcome back everyone to a new edition of Comic Book Pickups. Been a while. This is a combination comic book slash manga pickups. But with that said, first up, looking at the comic books, we have, of course, number 20 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. With classic Mighty Morphin, obviously. Love the artwork as always. And I still need to do catch up, I know, volumes. Now that's an interesting stuff to have on Alpha. As always, of course, like the artwork. It's one of the big positives about the Power Ranger comics has been always the artwork is great, and the stories have always been great and solid as well. Also, we have number 24, regular Power Rangers. There we see, of course, the death of a important character. I like a lot of the creature designs and stuff in these comics. Definitely has a more science fiction feel to them. Sort of like Power Rangers really in space and in Lost Galaxy. Then we have issue 330 of course, the greatest indie comic of all time, Spawn. And pretty much just about my favorite comic series of all time. As always, expect great artwork when it comes to anything, of course, obviously involving Todd McFarlane or Spawn, since Todd will always make sure good quality for Spawn. Speaking of this awesome redesign, I love this like darker silver and black. There we see punching a member of the Violators family. Also pretty cool. I found this recently, saw it at Walmart, so I wouldn't be surprised if I end up picking this up in the future and showing it in a future pickups video. But as always, superb artwork. Now that's badass. Second to last of the regular comics, we have this awesome black and white cover for King Spawn. And a very iconic shot, seeing him on the cross. Like that. Yes. Ugly hell creatures. Man. You know, it amazes me, after all these years, and I still see just as good quality caliber artwork in Spawn, as well as great storytelling. I honestly wish DC Comics and Marvel could learn a lot from Image on many series of the past and present. Besides Spawn, I mean, you also had stuff that's really well liked, like Saga, as well as The Walking Dead. Well, that right there. As kick-ass as you can get. Al Simmons. And now, the last of the comics, and yes, this is all big seeing. I will be doing a video showing the artwork and stuff for this. Obviously, we recognize the two characters on the front, and then just a black and white version on the back. But you'll have to stay tuned for a future video on this, which should be coming later this week. Next up in manga, we have Volume 1 of a really cool looking Star Wars manga series. And I picked this up, actually, surprisingly, pre-owned, so I wasn't buying straight for Marvel. I personally, the artwork is not great, unfortunately, from the looks here. Honestly, I think the Star Wars manga from the 90s, honestly, had better overall art than this. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's a good start. Hopefully it improves over time from this more simplistic art style. But that remains to be seen. But it's volume 1. We'll see how its actual story is. Next is a really cool, unique one-shot manga. It caught my attention. Of course, obviously, the name of my YouTube channel should not surprise you. Dragon Ball, That Time I Got Reincarnated as Yamcha, which is hilarious. It's an interesting concept as well. Seeing a flashback to actual Dragon Ball. Then to Dragon Ball Z. Let me know if you'd like me to do a video on this manga, or not. Or at the very least, just look at all the artwork. Next up we have volumes 1 and 2 of something you're already familiar with from my fighting game playthroughs, and I need to get back in eventually doing the RPG story mode. But this is volumes 1 and 2 of the mangas, of course, Grand Blue Fantasy. As all know by now, I absolutely love Grand Blue Fantasy versus Fine Game. And there's actually really good artwork. I love the art style, and some of the flying ships in this honestly remind me a lot of stuff like some I loved in the 2000s called Last Exile. Gran, of course, fighting off. Volume 2, of course, there's Catalina, though she's a lot happier than what I'm used to in the Fine Game. And that's it for this edition of video game, well, for manga and comic book pickups. See y'all next time. Stay safe. See you again. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.